Okay, welcome back to the channel. So we've got one more question on modeling quadratics, and here it is. So we've got a company sells t-shirts and its revenue R can be modeled by R equals 410p minus 10p squared, where p represents the selling price of the t-shirt in pounds. Okay, then we've got two little things that we've got to work out. But again, just like last time, I always prefer if I can draw something, sketch it, and actually see it. So what I want to do to begin with is actually make a good sketch of this here. So R equals 410p minus 10p squared. Now again, what I'm going to do is just on top of it, I'm going to put maybe y equals, I don't know, let's go with 410x minus 10x squared. Because that's usually the way that we see things, where we've got y's and x's. And normally we'll have an x-axis and a y-axis. Now hopefully you can see here, with our function, we're going to have a p-axis and an r-axis. So r is revenue, p is price. So let's get cracking now. The first piece of info we need is the general shape of this graph. Now it's a negative p squared, which means it's going to be some sort of upside down parabola there. Next, we need the y-intercept, but it's not the y-intercept, it's going to be the r-intercept. So to find that, what we need to do is set p as 0. So r equals 410 lots of 0 minus 10 lots of 0 squared. So obviously, because we've got 0 times this and 0 times this, overall r is just going to come out as 0. So we know that the y-intercept is bang at the origin. There it is. Now the next piece of info we need is now, where's the roots? Where does it cross the p-axis? So to find that, we need to set the whole thing equal to 0 and then look to solve it for p. Okay, so how are we going to solve this? Best way, I think, is just to factorize it. So what we could do is take 10p out of there, and we'll have 41 minus p left over. Okay, awesome. Now what we can do is set each factor equal to 0. So 10p equals 0 and 41 minus p is equal to 0. So over here we'll have p is equal to 0 and p is equal to 41. There we go. So you've got the two places where it crosses the x-axis, and the last thing we need is the turning point of our graph. So to find our turning point, we'll need to complete the square for this over here. So let's quickly write this down. R is equal then. Let's switch the order again. Let's have 10p squared and then plus 410p. Okay, so to complete the square, first thing we'll do is take out the minus 10. So the minus 10 and then p squared minus 41p. Okay, that is good. And then we'll have minus 10. Then we complete the square in here. So that's p minus 41 over 2 squared. Take away 41 over 2 squared and close that bracket off there. Okay. Next thing, we'll have to try and simplify that. So minus 10, and then it's p minus 41 over 2 squared minus, and then 41 over 2 squared. I don't actually know what that is. Okay, big number. We'll leave it in decimal form actually. So that's just 420.25. There we go. And then we can times through by minus 10. So we'll have r is equal to minus 10 lots of p minus 41 over 2 squared plus, and that would be 4202.5. There we go. Okay, fantastic. So from this, what we can do is get our maximum point or turning point, and we know it's a maximum because it's an upside down quadratic here. It's a n-shaped parabola. And so what we're going to have there as our x-coordinate for our turning point is going to be 41 over 2. The y-coordinate is just 4202.5. So we've got our turning point as well. Okay, brilliant. So we've got all the information we need. Now let's just quickly sketch this out. So this, and this. We've got an r-axis and a p-axis. We know it crosses the p-axis at 0 and at 41. And we know the turning point is at, well, 41 over 2, so that's exactly halfway. and at 420.25, so no, sorry, 4,202.5. So let's say that's up here. So 41/2, 4202.5. And then what we can do is sketch that. And there we go. There's our graph. Fab. Now then, what do we need to actually work out? We need to calculate the revenue if t-shirts are sold for £12. Okay, so here's our equation, and we're being told here that the price of the t-shirts are £12. So all we need to do is substitute 12 into where P is, like that. So then that's going to be that minus 10 lots of 12 squared, and that comes out as 3,480, and that would be pounds. Okay, so when it's sold at £12, that's the revenue that they're making. And you can see here that the maximum revenue that could be made, when we completed the square, was 4,202.5. So they're not quite at the most money that they could make. Now the next question says, what is the greatest revenue that could be made, and at what price must the t-shirts be sold at to achieve this? So because we've completed the square already, we've actually got this information already. The greatest revenue that could be made is £4,202.50. And then what price must the t-shirts be sold at? Well, if you drop that down here, it's going to be 41/2, which is the same as £20.50. So actually, they're selling their t-shirts here for too low a price. What they need to do is up it to about £20.50, and then that's going to give them the maximum revenue that they can make. So hopefully that will make sense. There's two modeling questions done, and then look forward to seeing you in the next